Ladies and gentlemen, another week is in the books, and in my opinion, this was a really, really good one.
It was a shocking one. I was shocked. Steelers won. I don't know how. Falcons won. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We helped you out, so you're welcome.
I know. It was like everything that needed to happen happened. And I know this isn't good for you guys, but the Bengals won. They beat the Saints, which is another good thing. The Rams beat the Panthers, which I guess you kind of got to worry about that, but...
Yeah, it was good for you.
That's one more step to the first seed, which was stolen from us last week, which I'll never forget.
Besides the Bengals, it was good for us, too. If you think about it. I mean, the Browns lost, Ravens lost.
Yeah.
Speaking of the
Depending on
Ravens.
how you feel about the Steelers, but yeah.
Huh?
Depending on how you feel about the Steelers.
I mean, we'll save it. We'll get on the list.
Yeah, the Ravens and Giants. My lock of the week was not a lock of the week. I only said it was a lock of the week because he's never lost to an NFC team. So I was like, let's keep that going. And, of course, his first loss was to the Giants.
Yeah.
Good job. What do I think of the Giants now? I don't know.
I think I got to be on board. I got to give him credit.
Oh, you're hopping on board?
I'm hopping on board.
Is Frank hopping on
they're
board?
the best team.
I just think they need to be respected. I don't think they're fluky. I do think they need a little bit more.
You don't think they're fluky?
No, I'm not saying. I'm in the middle. I'm not like, okay, Giants are great, but I'm also not like, nah, they stink.
Yeah. What are you saying, Frank?
Part of me wants to say they're not fake.
Okay.
But the Ravens have also been underperforming for weeks now as well.
The Ravens should be 6-0 if you really think about it.
They really should, and they shoot themselves.
No,
in
it's
the
not.
foot.
That's a stretch.
How? They
All right,
blew
Tom,
a
you want to hear a
28
stat?
point
You want to hear a
lead.
stat?
Okay, but
whatever?
they did, though.
Who
I mean,
wants
you
to
can
hear
say
a
that
good
for
stat?
any team.
Y'all want to hear a good stat?
Sure.
They have had leads of 10 or more in 6 straight games and have only won half of those games.
And they're in the fourth quarter. They should be
They
6-0.
have
They should
tied.
not have let up those
They
leads.
have tied.
I
their,
disagree with
they have
that.
tied their franchise record.
They're not good enough to be 6-0.
They have tied their franchise record through 6 games already for blown leads in the fourth quarter.
I mean, we can't just give the Ravens a pass for messing up in the fourth quarter.
Tommy, you were questioning
multiple times.
I'm not passing. I'm not giving
It's
them
not like it happened once.
Yeah.
They have 3 losses. They shouldn't be 6-0.
So you asked
that throw by Lamar should have never happened. He scrambled too long on that fumble, and that cost him the game. Mm-hmm. Like, those are mistakes you can't have happen. Plus, here's the thing. On the pick,
the Ravens are not a mistake-free team.
They're not. No. I don't think they're as good. I don't think they're good.
I've been saying that.
Okay. So, Tommy, you asked the question about the Giants. You seem like you're not too high on the Giants still. Are you? Or do you think
I am starting to give them some
respect?
respect, but like, no. I said if they beat the Ravens, I would hop on board a little bit, but I'm not.
So
I don't care.
Why? Then why would you say that then if you're not going to do it?
Who's more of a fluke, the Ravens or the Giants, do you think? Because if you're saying the Ravens kind of aren't all there, are the Ravens kind of faking it or are the Giants faking it?
I think the Ravens are more fake, but like, here's the thing. Let's look at the next
the
4 weeks for the New York Giants. The Jaguars.
Okay. This team they should be.
That's probably their hardest game out of the next 4. The Seahawks. The Texans. The Lions.
Not Jimmy's by any means.
Their first game.
I mean, that's about as easy as it gets.
That's
it. Doesn't get any. It doesn't get much easier.
They could literally be 9-1.
Well, we say it's easy, but then again, like,
any
you look at the Seahawks.
But all they
are the
do,
Seahawks okay?
I mean,
all they got to do is win
by any means. I'm just saying, like, you can't ask for much more than 4 games.
All they got to do is win 2 games. Literally. All they got to do is win 2 games, and then their next 4 after that is all division games. If they win half of those, they're in the playoffs already.
Crazy.
Well,
I mean, they're also fighting with the Cowboys and the Eagles, so it's kind of
but here the other thing is they're already 5-1. They get those 4 games that are super easy, and then all they got to do is split the divisional games. And
I mean, they could, but I don't see them winning all 4 of those games. That's a lot easier said than done. We've seen it with all these teams, so
I do want to give them credit. They had 2 really good fourth quarter performances. One versus the Packers. Like I said, if you want to talk about like they could be this record, they could have, should have, would have lost to the Packers. They could have, should have, would have lost to the Ravens. Like a lot of things had to go their way both games, and they did go their way both games on games that they maybe should have had no business even being in.
Brian Dable might just be like he's kind of in that mindset right now, kind of like Bill Belichick, where he's one of those really good second half coaches where he finds the adjustments they have to make and makes all of them. Because a lot of these wins have been like third and fourth quarter like comebacks where they make the adjustment.
I saw the Ravens winning this division, but I do not see them as a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
where I'm at with it.
I will give credit to the Giants. Like it is very impressive what they're doing. They have the best running back in the NFL. I'm going to continue to say that, and it's crazy that they're actually able to score points with they're getting no productivity from their wide receivers at all.
No.
You think Saquon's better than Chubb?
Yes. How he's playing right now?
Yeah, I would say so because Saquon's doing it on his own.
Oh,
They
that's
have
fair,
Saquon
that's fair. Yeah,
on the
that's
Browns.
fair.
That helps out, but
And
All right,
Cooper and
we should get to the next game.
Okay. What? Jaguars Colts.
We should just skip that one. No, I'm kidding.
Jaguars Colts. So
Matt Ryan had a performance. He kind of
he
went
actually
off.
did.
He
actually
stepped
did.
up. He stepped up.
Michael Pittman did really well. Frank, your boy, the running back, you thought would just absolutely blow chunks.
That was the one
Dante
thing I had
Jackson.
wrong.
Is that
that was
Dante
the
Jackson?
one thing I had wrong on the calling on Sunday. That was the one thing I had wrong.
And look,
he was only good in the receiving game, which
But hey,
That
that's
matters.
all you gotta do.
I know.
That's literally all you.
what
gotta
was
do.
his stat? I mean,
He only had 42 rushing yards, but he had 10 catches for 79 receiving yards.
Hey,
But hey, he had a touchdown.
They had no
he had a
run
rushing
game.
touchdown too.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, but
So I mean, you could throw out the yards as long as you get a touchdown. I
they
mean,
passed. I mean, he threw 58 times. There was no run game. in that one.
there was not.
And look, I'm going to take my small victories whenever I can. It's the offensive line of the Colts last year, like I've been saying. That's why Jonathan Taylor did well.
He didn't even.
Well, yeah. Now
He
it's
didn't
the
play.
reason
I
why
know,
they're doing
and now they're
bad.
not playing well, and they're not getting rushing yards. Now they have to throw.
So you saying the offensive line's bad now?
I mean, it has
They're just
not
not.
been playing
They're just
good
not
at
doing
all.
it. They're just
No, they're not
Last
doing
year,
it.
they were the clear-cut #1 offensive line in the NFL.
Yeah.
Now they're just not at all. Like I don't know what happened.
Who would you say has that now?
Oh man, I mean, the Browns have a pretty good offensive line in my opinion.
Eagles have a good one.
Eagles offensive line,
honestly,
pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
It's tough
The
to say
Chiefs
a
have built up
distinct
their
number
offensive
one.
line.
It's tough to say a distinct number one, really.
there's nobody that stands out to me like.
but there's definitely like a clear like top like 5.
They were last year and they kind of fell off, and I feel like that's a big reason on why they're struggling right now.
Yeah.
I thought Matt Ryan would be able to take over way more than Carson Wentz could, so throwing the football wouldn't be an issue, which he did this game. This is his first game he was able to do it.
But they didn't have any turnovers. That's what really helps them too.
I mean that.
I think it just shows how important the offensive line actually really is.
I mean this game
sure.
could have saved the Colts season. Let's be real.
They're
Divisional
I mean, well,
game
yeah, they're
against the
back in.
Jags.
They are back in.
They're back
Because
in it.
that division's so bad.
Yeah.
Like nobody's out of
What
that.
are the Titans?
Yeah,
What's
but
their
that's the
record?
thing. You need to
Titans-
win the divisional games in that.
Are they 3-2?
They had a bye week, so they're
Yeah.
they're 3-2.
Okay, so there you go, right there with the
It's
Colts.
anybody's division, yeah.
That
It's
tie's
not the
gonna.
Texans. It's not the
Yeah.
Not the Texans.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens here,
Yeah.
but
Colts are 3-2-1, which is cool.
yeah,
It's a cool
the
record.
Colts defense has just been underwhelming. Minus that Chiefs game, they've
Yeah.
been very underwhelming, and they should have.
I mean,
really
they
good
keep
defense.
losing guys though. That's the other
Yeah.
thing. Like Shaq Leonard's played what, a half of football?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
What
that's
are,
it.
what are the thoughts on the Jaguars though? Because like there was a point briefly where they were like a little bit hyped, and now
I mean,
loss,
it's
loss,
not
loss.
like it's not like they're doing bad. I mean,
They took care of the ball, so they did look better. They could have won. It was a close game
It's
till
just
the end.
one. It's just one of those games where one team came out trying to do like one thing, and it just kept working, and the other team couldn't stop it.
They're looking better than they were obviously last season.
I mean, I was
but-
going to say it really comes down to
20
the expectations that everybody
Exactly.
had for them.
27 points should be enough. to
They're
win it.
exceeding my
I was
expectations.
going to say, like, who actually expected them to win the AFC South or make the playoffs?
No,
Like,
none
I
of us.
did.
Like they're
Yeah, I
fighting.
did.
They're fighting, and
They have a
that's
good,
what you need.
they have a
to
good
see
young
out of a team like
defense,
that.
so I
I'll
feel like
say,
they can
yeah.
only get better.
Yeah.
They have steps in the right direction. I think that's fairly clear to see, but they're definitely not all there yet.
I think
so.
you're seeing better games out of Trevor Lawrence. Not perfect games by any means, but
They're
better
the games you need to see in
Exactly.
year 2. Yeah.
Exactly.
Speaking of 27 points needing to be enough to win a game, how about them? How about them Jets?
Those Jets.
Those
Oh,
Jets.
gosh.
Beat
Where do
the
we even
Packers.
So
start?
now this is another team. I consider the Jets more fluky than the Giants.
I agree.
I
This was
disagree
the
with that.
game, though. Like
I
the
actually
Packers'
disagree with that.
defense has been the thing keeping them in a lot of these games, though. Like their offense has done nothing, nothing to help. Like nothing to help
But
at
the
all.
Packers' offense stinks.
It's
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
The Jets, I think this was the game. I think I said this last week. Like this is the game where I would go. You know, are the Jets legit or not? And I think we.
I mean,
could
I would
argue the
love to
Jets-
see both of these teams play because they're in the same category, really.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily. I mean, I don't know. I actually think the Jets are better than the Giants.
Really?
I
don't.
as a
I don't
complete
either.
team. As a complete
as a
team, I
complete
could see
team.
that. And
The
that's thing.
Giants, I think, have a better defense. I think that Saquon Barkley obviously is going off. I think all of their Giants rookies and stuff like that are really showing up this year.
Like here, let
I don't
me
think
ask you this.
Sauce.
Let me
Jets
ask you
rookies
through
are
this.
showing up this year.
Let me
Sauce,
ask you through this.
Yeah, Sauce only done a little bit. He got his first interception last week.
I mean, you can't really base it off of interception.
No,
He
you're
had
right.
a really good game against the Packers.
Let me ask you this: who would affect their team more if they got injured, Saquon Barkley or Bryce Hall?
Saquon Barkley.
Saquon
The
Barkley.
Giants to me are done.
But I'm
That
talking about-
immediately tells you like
I
there's
think-
more depth on the Jets than the Giants, and the Jets are probably.
I think
the better
Thibodeau
team.
has had a bigger impact than Sauce has for both rookies.
That's
going in.
another thing though too. Yeah, the defense.
I just
side
feel
of the
like-
ball.
Oh, that's so hard to compare two different positions.
You're right.
like
It
that.
is, and obviously cornerback is the toughest position in the game, in my opinion. But I expected Sauce to do a little bit more coming in. I'm not saying he's doing bad, but it seems like he kind of got off to a slow start.
Arguably, he's playing the hardest position in football.
Oh, I agree. That's what I just said. But I think he got off to a slower start, and it just seems like the Giants' defense is kind of clicking a little bit
Did
more
I really just say that
than the
already?
Jets.
What did you say?
I said quarterback's the hardest position in football.
He said cornerback.
Corner?
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I mean,
I don't know. I would.
It
definitely
just sounds
agree
weird
with
because like quarterback is like you're always looking for a quarterback, but I don't know.
that. I think they're pretty comparable. What's next, Frank? What do you got?
Patriots. Browns.
Yeah.
Really happy I
hey,
switched
Patriots,
this
let's
pick.
go.
Holy.
Hey man.
Wow.
Another small victory for me. I ain't picking against the Patriots against mid teams, bro.
Yeah.
Not.
I agree.
They're always that
respectable.
team, man. They're always that
Yeah.
team.
Bailey Zappi though.
He threw for like 300 plus
Yeah.
yards. didn't he?
People are
People are behind him.
but see
People are behind
here
him.
is my issue with this. Everybody's like, oh, he's Tom Brady's like successor, like he's going against Mac Jones. The teams he's gone against like haven't exactly done a lot.
Yeah.
Like the Browns didn't have their top corner and didn't have Jadeveon Clowney yesterday. That's two big pieces.
Oh, they got spanked though, dude. 38-15. They got spanked.
They got spanked. For him to throw 309 yards and no picks.
Yeah, I'm not
pretty-
diminishing what he did. I'm just
good.
saying when your best corner is out.
Yeah.
How many
And
touchdown
you're-
passes did he throw?
2.
That's what I
Did he
said
throw a
before.
pick?
The
I
main
don't
thing
think
was
he threw a pick. I don't
He
know.
didn't.
No, he didn't.
the
2
main thing
touchdowns.
was it's a well-rounded organization versus a mess of an organization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I needed to
Wow.
know to pick the
Nick
Patriots.
Chubb only got 56
I was
yards.
gonna say,
And the Patriots are not unbeatable. They're just a good team.
Yeah.
I see having 8 or 9 wins. Truthfully, now they should beat out the Dolphins. They're not.
Depending
I think
on when
they
Tua
will.
comes back, because if Tua could come back soon here, they might be able to kind of turn something around.
They're
Because they've been in
that
these
could
games.
be a fight between those two teams.
We've seen who is even in for the Dolphins. We'll talk about that
Well,
once we
yeah.
get to it. But
Well,
that's
yeah,
like
Teddy
a
came in
4-string
after.
quarterback.
Yeah, I was
I
wrong
mean,
about the
I feel
Patriots.
for Skylar Thompson. Did you guys see like I guess we're moving on to the Dolphins now. Did you guys see when they like helped him off the field? I was like, how is his hand like bleed? It looked like it was bleeding.
I don't
I'm
know.
like,
Oh,
what
really?
is
His
going
hand
Stepped
on?
on?
No,
It might have
I
got
thought he
stepped
hit-
on. It might have got stepped on, but
know.
it makes more sense for it to have
What, he
gotten
hit off a
stepped
helmet
on.
or something? I don't know.
I don't think he got a hit off a helmet.
I seen it though. I know what you're talking
It's
about.
like it was so weird. Like how are you bleeding at that point?
Yeah, I don't know.
But no, the Dolphins. Yikes. This might be a shot season now for the Dolphins.
I actually question
Everybody's getting
their
hurt.
head coach a little bit.
I do too.
and,
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
I think it's a matter of everyone getting hurt. Like everybody left and right.
Say their
is getting
quarterback play isn't exactly the greatest right now. They had 2 in yesterday. Was Teddy? Well, he threw 2 picks yesterday.
Yeah.
That's what really counts.
Yeah,
And-
but like you can't really put you can't really put it on the quarterback situation when it's a revolving carousel for the past week and a half.
That didn't really stop him though. Wow, Tyreek Hill had 177
I was
yards,
gonna
and
say-
Jalen Waddle had 129 yards.
the result of that game.
If
It ended 24-16. I said it was actually a pretty close
Jalen
game.
Waddle had that stupid fumble at the end.
I was
that
going to
really-
say, that could have
Jalen
lost them the
Waddle-
game. Because
and
they could
then-
have went down and scored
yeah.
and technically kicked an extra
I was
point.
saying,
I
and then
believe, to
right
win it.
after that, Teddy threw an interception. But like before that, it actually was a tight game.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but
got to keep that in
Jalen
consideration.
Jalen Waddle kind of just had
Yeah,
a
the
bad
Vikings
game.
are 5-1, but they keep getting away with these games.
I agree.
feel, man.
Yeah, Jalen Waddle had a bad game.
I agree.
He basically was the
I mean,
reason
he-
that
I
he
mean,
was
okay.
basically the reason for 2 turnovers.
Sure.
A pass hit him right in the chest and then goes up in the air and ends up being a pick.
That's fair.
That's the only
And
thing
then
the
he
Vikings,
fumbled the ball like the next drive.
Vikings
Like,
offense didn't really do much of anything. Like Dalvin Cook had 1. He had 77 yards, but that's because he had like a 50-yard touchdown.
This is one of those games for Waddle that I feel like kind of he just wants to obviously put behind him. But it's one of those games where
he'll
like
put
if
it
one
behind
thing
him.
goes wrong, everything goes
Yeah,
wrong.
it
Like, his
rains, it
mind just
pours.
wasn't
Like
there
literally,
for it.
that is the epitome of the Dolphins
Yeah.
season right now. It rains, it pours.
Yeah.
We'll see what they can do. We'll see if they can pick it back up.
Yeah, I mean, Vikings.
They should promise.
Vikings are making a nice little cushion for themselves though in that division. So,
oh man,
even if they fall off, I mean, they kind of have some support.
It's time to run away, Minnesota. This is your opportunity right now.
Honestly.
I mean, you're not a flawless team, but this is your chance to.
Yeah,
I mean, you
Green
got
Bay's
a nice
falling
division.
behind.
Their next few games, they got Arizona,
That's
Commanders,
winnable.
Bills, and then
Winnable.
Cowboys. So
Try to win too.
try to win two. Though.
Try to win
They
too.
could. I think they could win 3 of those games. I don't think they're beating the Bills, but
They could, but
I wouldn't
it's just-
expect
those
that.
are
They could
these
beat the
games that
Cowboys.
they've been winning,
Dak
though.
will be back.
I don't know.
They've had some tight ones, man. It's
Yeah.
been all coming down to the fourth quarter. That's just
Mhm.
that's just their style of play right now. What do we got next, Frank?
Did we talk about 49ers and Falcons?
No, we
Oh, we
did
didn't.
not.
That's-
I would love
Of course
to.
we didn't. Yeah, go ahead, Logan.
What a game! This is the best game that the Falcons have played all season.
a whole 2 halves.
We played a full game for
Yeah.
the first time, and look what happened.
Well, that's why you guys look good in the first half, and I was like, oh boy.
Me too. We beat a good team. Well, we quickly had a 14-point lead, and they gave it up.
I
And I was like, all right, good guys. Way to give up some points. That way we can save some points later.
No, that was a good game.
They look
That was-
good. And the person that I want to put the most emphasis on that looked the best, in my opinion, is Marcus Mariota, who almost had a perfect game. He had one
I jinxed
incompletion.
I jinxed him.
No, that's okay. He had one incompletion. He had 2 touchdowns. He was looking good. He was able to scramble. He was able to get a lot of first downs for us. He was able to, again, just be accurate as he was at the beginning of his
you guys
career.
didn't have any big numbers on offense.
No,
he was
Drake,
13 to 14 for 129.
Drake London and Kyle Pitts were comparable in their stats. I think Drake London got a couple more receptions, but yards-wise, it was very
the leading
comparable.
receiver was 58
I think
yards.
it was.
I mean,
wow. You want to know why he didn't? Because they ran the ball almost 40 times.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And again, I'm happy that it was able to work without Cordero Patterson. We were able to kind of get first downs on the ground, which is important to see without that huge guy being out, which again, that's why I really liked our rookies coming in and stuff like that, because they've been doing decent.
And here's the thing. That's 150. I mean, they ran the ball almost 40 times.
Yeah.
But
Another
that's 150 yards against a really good
exactly. And
49ers defense.
Nick Bosa was out, of course, which is a huge part of that defense. But again, that was a very good defense that we ran against, and we were able to get it done. And also, the whole entire game, we were just losing parts of our defense, which made me terrified, because I thought the 49ers are going to be able to come down and just make it even. But no, we still showed up. We still got a pick in the end again, which really was still the deal.
It was your offense taking care of the ball, but the defense, I think, really won that game. They had some good turnovers.
Yeah, forcing those turnovers for
that
sure
fumble.
made a difference.
The fumble that went for a touchdown, I think. And
Yeah,
then,
which was A.J. Terrell, which I love to see him showing up. Of course, he almost fumbled it out of bounds, which would have been a touchback.
and Jimmy G, obviously, he has games where he's going to throw picks and cost him a game.
But this is everything I wanted to see out of the Falcons. I'm really, really happy to see this. And again, this is really getting me excited for this team that they're building towards. And again, we're still in it for this division right now.
Yeah.
All of our other division rivals have lost.
You're
so
more than in
you
it.
should.
You're more
Yeah,
than
I'm
in it.
excited. I'm excited for this Falcons
Tampa
team. I
still
really
is
am.
first, but they're tied now, right?
Which is exciting to say, because I haven't got to say this since 2015. So
Hey, I mean,
I'm not gonna lie.
step in the right
I'll admit,
direction.
I'm surprised you're even able to say it right now. But they were the most impressive team for me this week,
Thank you.
bar none. Full
Yeah.
4 quarters of football,
Yeah.
nice upset. I mean,
No
I
turnovers.
said it before.
Yeah.
I was like, this seems like a trap game, but I couldn't get myself to believe it against the 49ers. And I guess they played every quarter, which they haven't done yet. And whenever they do, man, it looked good. I
keep it up.
still can't believe Marcus Mariota's back there at quarterback.
and doing as
He
well
did
as
well.
he is
He
right
did.
now.
He did do well. We'll see if he can keep it up, but it was very impressive. I will definitely give the Falcons credit there. It wasn't. I think it was more the Falcons looking well than the 49ers looking
bad, yeah.
awful.
Yeah.
I haven't
It
seen
wasn't
anything
it wasn't a fluke win. It was.
Yeah,
it
I didn't
was,
see
it was
anything
a
that
hard
like,
fought
wow,
game,
the
yeah.
49ers look awful right now. It was, wow, the Falcons really look good right now.
Yeah.
And they shut him out in the second half. Don't let that.
Yeah.
That's been an area of concern for the Falcons like the past few
for
years.
sure.
But
For sure.
speaking of division rivals
boy.
of the Falcons, how about them? Buccaneers against them Steelers? You know, how about that?
I'm not hyping on any train for the Steelers, saying, all right, we're back by any means.
These moments are going to be few and far between this year, Joe.
I agree.
Let's live it up while we can.
I mean, I am.
How about them Lurs?
I'm happy. It's a win's a win. But, I already see people online and stuff saying, hey, we're back in this. I'm just like, all right.
I mean,
Just
we're
pump the brakes, man.
numerically we're back in
The Bucks
it, but let's
are
be
the
real.
Bucks are a mess to me, and I thought they were a mess before this game.
I mean, we really get. I mean, we could probably beat the Dolphins.
We can. No, that.
I
I
mean,
mean, I don't know. I see Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, and I'm just like our secondary.
It's
I'm just
Tua
like,
coming
oh
back in.
gosh.
Though.
Although you did shut it out against Mike Evans and Chris
know.
Godwin, which you
I
got
know.
no slacks.
I think something that people kind of forgot about yesterday too, though, and here's why we live it up a little bit. This was the Steelers' first win in almost 3 years without T.J. Watt.
Wow.
Actually,
Their
Yeah.
first
I
ever
think it's
win.
our own. Yeah, it's our only. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, we were.
And
we
I'm
never won a game
shocked.
without him.
I am absolutely shocked that I did not see a single major NFL outlet say a word about
That
it.
is true.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
you're
am
definitely right.
absolutely shocked because they brought it up every single week while he wasn't there and we were losing. But the minute we win, it's like, must not be a big thing anymore.
yeah. Honestly.
Yeah, I want to give a lot of credit to Mitch Trubisky actually in that second half.
coming
After
in cold and then just
and
he looked good.
I don't think he's good by any means. I think Kenny Pickett's better than him, but I thought he had. Not that Kenny Pickett played like terrible. He didn't play great.
I mean, I
but,
don't
like,
think any quarterback.
he was a better quarterback.
Kenny Pickett, he comes in. He even did it with the Bills. He comes out with a good first drive, and then they just stall out.
Yeah, that's why I'm just like.
But you also got to figure that was against the Bills and then the Buccaneers defense.
I know.
So like,
So what is the whole like concussion protocol now? So is he
That's
able
the
to play
story.
next
I
week?
actually
That's
think
the
so.
story of the year.
Here's
I
how it
think
goes.
concussions are
Trubisky's
insane.
going to be playing. That's my prediction.
And
you
who
don't
do you-
think?
Here's the thing. So in game, it goes like they check you like they would normally do. If they see you stumbling at all, which he got his bell rung, he did get hit.
Yeah.
I mean, they said he has a concussion.
Yeah,
that's
so
just
he had.
confirmed.
So what they do is they check you, and if they saw you like that at all, they keep you out of the game, which
Okay.
they did. So they're gonna monitor him over the next week or whatever, about 5 days, do the normal thing, and then on that 5th day, if he still feels any symptoms, it's extended. So chances are, if I were a betting man, Trubisky's probably starting. Just speaking from experience, because I'm still like 10 days in and it's not feeling good, but
Okay.
that's
All
neither
right.
here nor there. But
So who do the Steelers play next week?
Miami, ironically
Oh, the
enough.
Dolphins.
So
Okay.
I will say, like, the victory wasn't an impressive victory to me where I'm like, wow, this team got it.
No,
Like,
I need
there
to see
wasn't
it
any-
again. It's just consistency. Like
That's
one-
why
they
I-
did
the
it one
impressive
time.
thing is there to me. Okay, I got to disagree with you there, and here's why.
Really?
Did you look at the corners we had out there today or yesterday?
Yeah, I know, but the Buccaneers
At
offense
best,
has
we
not
had
been
a
good all
fourth
year.
string corner on Mike Evans. At best, no Minka.
He's a safety.
Well, secondary. I'm
You
talking
wouldn't be
secondary
covering him
period.
anyways. He'd just be helping over the top.
But against Mike Evans, Chris God, do you see my point?
Yeah, but they haven't done anything
Like
all
a
season.
sec-
have they?
like,
it's a good win, but I'm just
Literally,
not-
a bunch of backup corners essentially
No, I
shut
mean,
down
I'll
the
give
Buccaneers.
credit to the
Like,
defense.
they
I mean-
fought their heart out.
No, they
to
did.
me,
It's a good win, but I just need to see it again. It's consistency. That's all.
I look at individual
If they
wins,
got
Joe.
beat on next week, I would not be shocked.
I'm just.
I mean,
gonna-
honestly,
I mean, I
that's the way,
understand
that's
that.
the way that they
but
are right
but
now.
we almost have to curb our enthusiasm a little bit here with what an.
I just don't want to, because if I get hyped about it, then I'm just going to get stomped on. So like, I'm
Well,
trying
no.
to stay.
Here's what I'm saying. You
Like,
get
I
hyped
don't-
about this week because
I'm
it
not.
was a
I'm
hard-fought
not.
win that
I-
not a single soul in America thought they were going to win.
Right.
And they went out there. Yeah, they won by 2 points. But like when you see guys that we've been like literally crapping on for the past month and a half making a game-saving like deflection on a 2-point conversion to save the game, like Devin Bush, like it's things like that. I don't think the team has given up yet, and I think that's an
They're
important.
not.
They're
not
never
gonna
going to give up. They're not an organization.
I
to do
just think
that,
that's
but-
an important thing. Like they went in there, did their business, got it. They got a win, which is really important. And
Yeah,
just,
I mean,
and
again,
that's the thing.
yeah, they won. It's a good win, but like I said, I just need to see it again
Like
to
you
really
just
think
look,
that they're
like
turning it
you
around.
look at it, like the Steelers have a what 3-9 record versus Tom Brady, or 3-12 now.
Yeah.
That was their
Here's the
third
thing.
ever win
Let me
against
ask
Tom
you this,
Brady.
right? Because this is where I really struggle, and this is why I was like watching the Steelers game. I'm like debating if I even wanted them to win. They're not a Super Bowl team this year.
They're
the
not.
same thing's going to happen over and over again.
And I get
They
that,
might
and,
win 8 or 9
obviously,
games.
I want them
Yeah.
to have a good draft pick, but watching them, I could never root against them. No, that's
I
just,
think I could. I actually do. Because thinking
And
for the
I don't
future
know.
of the
Yeah,
team,
but
I'm
that's
thinking
kinda
like
disgusting.
long
I don't
term.
know.
You could call it disgusting. I know a lot of people won't like it. We need a good draft pick eventually, to like really help spark this team.
Well, you even said it yourself, though. Let's say theoretically they do have the first overall pick in the NFL draft this upcoming season. do they go with Young? Or do they, again, skip it? And like you said, if they skip it and he becomes some next Tom Brady-like talent, that's going to be something that's like, oh, my gosh, we missed out on him.
It's like that victory wasn't impressive enough to me at all where I'm like, the best case scenario, we squeak into the wild card again and we lose another playoff game, like our fifth straight playoff loss, whatever it is. What's the point? What's the point? That's what I see. That's why I'm like, man, if we just take an L one season.
I think the biggest thing that people are rooting for as Steeler fans right now is still Mike Tomlin's record and stat.
And I don't care about that either.
I think a lot of people kind of want him to still have the winning seasons.
Like, we want to see. That can't be the standard.
You're right. You're right. I think that's what people are kind of hanging on, though. Because, like, last year with the Falcons, I wanted them to be the worst team in the NFL because I wanted them to have that, first-round pick.
Yeah, and I know it's don't early yet to be, like, rooting against my team and whatnot. It was just they won, but they just didn't look that great, and it was awful losing 38-3. Yeah. And I'm seeing all these other teams that are, like, clearly way better than the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I wouldn't even be surprised if they like broke off a little bit of a win streak. And I'm like, all right, here we go. And then I'm going to be forced to like hop on, but I don't know. I genuinely.
I'm just saying, when we're watching games and you start rooting for the other team, there's going to be fights happening.
I'm not rooting for the other team.
You just said you were.
I'm not rooting for the other team. I'm just like sitting here like, I don't know if I want them to win. I'm thinking for you. Got to think for the future of the team, Joe.
I understand. Like, if they have a good draft pick, fantastic. But when I'm watching them, I cannot be like, let's go Bucks.
I'm not going to be like, let's go Bucks. But whenever they win, I'm going to be like, dang, was that really for the better of the organization?
Yeah, but clip back to like 2 minutes ago when you literally said, I am rooting for the other team. You said that. Like, we could clip back to that. You literally said that.
We could probably clip back to it in our vlog for this week too, because you said the same thing yesterday.
No, I did not. No, I did not.
I'm kidding.
That was a completely different scenario.
I'm kidding.
I care about the team. Okay, we see it over and over and over again. If you're finishing mediocre every single year, you're not going to be able to make the strides. I mean, Cincinnati terrible for a long time. They're terrible. They get Joe Burrow. I mean, Arizona's not great right now. Terrible for a long time. Number 1 pick. They get Kyler Murray.
They had a couple of number 1 picks.
Unless you want a team unless you want to be like the Chiefs and trade away first-round picks to move up in the draft and take a risk on somebody. But if you miss, like maybe the 49ers might with the injuries with Trey Lance, you're going to set your franchise back.
Yeah. You're definitely right.
I get how you could be upset at that, but like, I'm looking for the future, not right now, because I see a team there's no way that they're winning a Super Bowl this year.
The number one thing with like, we'll talk about that in another video. What's the next game?
The Bengals and the Saints are the last 1 o'clock game.
Yeah, and this came out and did it. This was a shootout actually.
I was honestly I'm not impressed with the Bengals though. I'm not on the Bengals train. I came into this season thinking they're going to kind of fall off a little bit, and I'm still just not big on them.
I'm not huge on them either. I just think they're better than the Ravens.
I think they have more talent. I do. I think they're just a more complete team.
So Joe Burrow still needs a little bit of work. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I mean, that game could have went either way versus the Saints. It was actually a really good game. I enjoyed watching that game. And the Saints were without a lot of people, too.
Exactly, and Andy Dalton was in a quarterback.
Here's something that impressed me. This is a Saints defense that has always been, like, top 10 at worst.
Yeah, they're not.
At worst.
Well, I'm saying this year, do you really think they are?
I said always, as in like in previous years, it's always been top 10. Okay. It's not a bad defense. It has pieces it has pieces, and that's the thing.
Cam Jordan, and Lattimore.
Yeah, it's not a lot. I get it. It's not a lot.
No, you're right though.
They do have a lot of really good pieces.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Cincinnati still went in there, scored 30 points. Joe Burrow put up 303 touchdowns. Jamar Chase might finally be back. Yeah. Seven receptions, 132, and 2 touchdowns. And that was probably with Lattimore shadowing him most of the night.
Well, Lattimore was out.
Lattimore
Lattimore didn't.
Why didn't you tell me that before I started talking about it? No,
because Frank, no one knows where you're going at any point. But like you said, though, it's still a good defense even without Lattimore being in there. Yeah, but so again, it does show.
They've been underperforming.
Having Lattimore out, you're right. They have.
The
whole Saints organization has been underperforming.
Here's the thing. Okay, then let me go in the opposite direction. Then we won't even talk about the Bengals. Then all right, we'll talk about the Saints. What bothers me is that the Bengals gave up 26 points to the Saints. Backup quarter. Well, I mean, not saying Andy Dalton's bad, but he's a backup.
He's not a starter.
He's not great. Kamara only just under 100 yards.
Kamara's poop.
And their best receiver with Michael Thomas out, 43 yards, 1 touchdown for Traquan Smith. Three catches. It's not enough to get it done.
Yeah. No, you're right.
So you're saying the Bengals aren't legit or anything? They're not. If they're giving up 26 points to a battered Saints team, 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday.
I see how the Bengals went on that tear last year. I don't think there's.
I just think they're a playoff team.
I'm
not saying they're the best team.
I am going to make the
I'm not saying they're in my top.
I'm going to make the
5 or
argument
anything.
right now. And I should have made it weeks ago when I saw this against the Cowboys. I think the Bengals' offensive line, with all the stuff they've done to make it better, might be worse.
Okay.
Might be worse than it was last year.
It has shown small improvement to me in the pass protection
But
over
when
the
you
past
do
couple
all
weeks.
of that to fix the entire thing,
Yeah, I know.
and it just there's still that issue.
I mean, the
with
run
that.
game's non-existent. That's completely
Yeah.
gone. But yeah, they're not good by any means, the offensive line. But,
I mean, they gave up another 3.
but he's just not getting
sacks.
sacked as heavy as he did
Yeah.
the first couple weeks.
He's not getting killed every play.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got next?
Well, we're on to the 4 o'clock games. So, Panthers, Rams. I guess I'll take over for TJ on this. PJ Walker sucks.
Whoa.
Wait a
The
second.
Rams,
but Frank, he had 60 yards passing in the fourth quarter.
I know, right? And he only got like 73 total the whole game.
Did he throw
And
any
then got
interceptions?
Oh man, I don't know.
He
I
threw
don't know.
60 yards.
Does it
So
really
he didn't have
matter?
much
You're
of
right.
a-
Yeah, he had
That's
60.
what-
Hey,
if
no
he had
picks.
an-
No
Okay.
picks. Let's go, boys. No picks.
I was gonna say-
Let's go Panthers. No picks. Let's go.
If he had an interception with that would have been really bad.
Hey, Christian McCaffrey, nice amount of yards. He only got 9 more yards than his quarterback did.
again, the Panthers. I mean, yeah, they stink. I mean,
They do.
I
They
don't-
stink.
I don't
Christian
understand.
McCaffrey was the leading receiver on the team with 89 receiving yards. So,
Yeah.
wait, how does that even?
He was the only productive player on
Yeah.
the team.
Yes.
All right.
And I don't know if you guys heard, but the Rams put Cam Akers on the trade market,
Yeah,
and apparently there's heavy talks about
he's gone.
Cam Akers
He's
and some
out.
picks to Carolina for CMC.
Yeah.
Going to the
That's
Rams.
not. I don't see that happening.
I mean,
So if that does happen,
I could
Actually,
see
with the
that
game
happening.
Darnell Henderson had with only 43 yards
yeah.
and a touchdown,
I could see that happening.
that would be bad for TJ.
That would be even worse for. I'd argue that that's worse for the
honestly,
Rams.
I would
though,
think
'cause,
that
like,
actually might be a good move for the Panthers if they can get Cam Akers and
Well-
if they could actually get a first round pick somehow, which I
Well,
don't
here's
think
the
they
thing.
should be able to.
If it's going to the Rams, I don't even know when the Rams' first round pick
like
is.
2075 or something like that.
So there you go.
They'll probably be dead by the time they have their first
So-
round pick come up.
I don't know how they're still able to dish out first round picks.
And like I said, the Rams didn't even look impressive whatsoever in
No.
this game.
No.
But they won.
So
Thank
I
goodness.
think I have
Yeah.
to bring up the question here that I would bring up if TJ was also sitting in the spot.
Okay.
Who would you rather have to root for as a team right now? The Carolina Panthers or the Pittsburgh Steelers?
The Steelers.
The
Okay.
Steelers.
The Steelers, I think, have
better
more behind
organization, better coaching,
Yeah.
better they still got talent on the team. I mean,
I
the
wonder if I'd
Panthers
rather
are-
root for the Panthers or the Texans. That's the question.
them. I think Panthers because their logo's
You know
cooler.
what?
That's literally
I'm
it.
going to say the Texans.
You will?
I would
Okay.
say the Texans just because they just fired somebody like high
See,
up or
I
whatever.
don't care about Davis Mills. Montgomery's the only player that I kind of like on the team, and they show him no respect.
There's something
so-
about a clear rebuilding team. Like you
Yeah.
know the Texans are going to be bad, but there's kind of that excitement like around the draft, like free agency, all that kind of
But
stuff.
you're right, but
I
man,
don't know.
I just
I
can't
think
get
it's
behind
Deshaun
the
because
Saints.
here's the
Watson
thing. Every year we say this, like the Panthers have a whole bunch of good pieces. Like they got Brian Burns, they got DJ Moore, they got a guy they kicked
Dude,
off
they had
their
a defensive
own team
touchdown.
in the middle
I
of the
think they
game.
have a defensive touchdown the past 3 games or something like that.
Like,
I could be wrong, but their
these-
defense
like,
is
they
actually
have-
Are you saying
pretty
their
nice.
defense has scored more points than their offense?
Yeah, I think so. Honestly,
Here's the thing. It's such a weird thing because they have all these big pieces. They have McCaffrey. They have they had the excitement of Baker Mayfield,
Yeah, well.
coming off of major soldier surgery, which shocker of the week. If you have your throwing shoulder and you get surgery on it, you're probably not going to throw too well.
Really?
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, wow.
That's why I was saying last year the Browns probably ruined Baker's career because they didn't just let him
yeah.
get the
Honestly,
surgery.
I think the
right away.
Panthers have a good shot of having the first
But-
pick next year.
I don't think the Panthers are a team that clearly has bought into the whole rebuild aspect of this until this
They're
week.
trying to kind of, I think,
They
go
are
the
now
trade
because
aspect.
they're talking about getting rid of McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson,
Yeah, that's what
a
I'm
few other
saying. Now
people.
they finally bought into it.
They
but,
were
like,
trying to kind of do what the Rams did, but something I want to bring up is, again, like the Rams, I think they're in deep trouble right now because, again, they've
The
traded
Rams,
away their future.
For their expectations, they stink right now.
They don't look good, and especially if they're trying to go after Christian McCaffrey. Like, how many more good years do we think Christian McCaffrey could have if they get him?
I mean, if you're doing what you did this game and getting like 150 yards or whatever it is total, you're still doing fine.
And
like, he's never been that guy to always just get like 100 rushing yards and then get the receiving yards too.
Yeah.
He's been that guy to get maybe 60, 70 rushing yards and then just get close to 100 receiving.
Honestly, it might sound stupid, but I don't want McCaffrey. Like, shelf life on running backs aren't high. He's been around for
Especially
how long?
with you can get for a third round pick.
I was going to say, if you get him
Yeah,
for the right
but for
price,
what they won for him, nah. First round
you're
picks, nah.
that. And here's the other thing. If I'm right about this, I think this is the year. I don't think there's a single team that will actually go after McCaffrey, and this is an important thing to bring up. There are 10 really, really good running backs that are on their contract year this year. We're talking guys like David Montgomery, Saquon. I don't think McCaffrey is yet.
No, they repaid McCaffrey.
They repaid
They were talking about getting rid of Saquon for like what, a 6th-round pick before the season?
Like those
Yeah.
three guys I
that
mentioned, like
crazy.
David Montgomery and Saquon right there. Like, why would you go after McCaffrey for
When you can
get rid of
McCaffrey
your
for-
future when you
Well,
can
that's
keep
if
your
you want to
future?
win this year. If you want to win this year,
if you're like a playoff fringe team and you really need that
here's
extra
the,
spark.
Here's the thing: I don't think the Rams are a playoff fringe team.
I
They're,
agree.
They're
I-
not
well, they're
good.
leading the NFC West right now.
Yeah,
first
but
place.
they haven't looked
That's
impressive
crazy.
at all.
No, you're right.
No.
And
they-
and if I'm right, they've already lost 2 division games, right? They lost to the 49ers and then
Yeah. I think they're looking at CMC as that spark. I think they're looking and they're like, okay, well, this will kind of give us that little bit of spark where we can use him as a
Here's
receiving
the other
back,
thing too.
use him as
We
a
say
running back.
we say they gave up their future. It doesn't matter because you won the Super Bowl last year.
I
Like
say,
you
the pressure
did
is-
what
the
you set
pressure
out
is
to
on
do.
them, but like, I don't know.
No, you're right. They got done what they needed to do, but now
Yeah.
it's like, oh man, they might be a bad organization for years to come now because of it. Because again, they don't have anything to build on. They really don't.
Well, then you just think about it this way: they came in and they did what they had to do.
You're right.
They won the Super Bowl already.
Yeah.
So I mean, everything they did, truthfully, no matter what happens for the next few years, was a success.
Yeah.
Like, it has to go down as a success. They won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Not easy to do, and the plan to trade away all the picks did work.
And
out.
you also got to figure out they played a lot of like we say this every time around playoff time. Like the Rams have played a lot of football the last 3 years. They've been to like the divisional round and like the conference championship like the past 3 years. So maybe this is their year. They just kind of start feeling the effects of that. I don't know.
That's why I expected them to not be as good as they were last year, not just take off with the NFC. Because again, it's a lot of football, and again, I think teams really wanted to try to lock down Cooper Kupp, and again, Cooper Kupp has still been doing well this season. But
I mean, Cooper Kupp
again, it's kind of their team.
Here's the thing.
Honestly.
Cooper Kupp, I will say it right now, and I honestly think he might be the best wide receiver in football right now because Devontae Adams is.
he might
that's,
be or he is.
Hmm?
Is he or is he not?
I think he is.
Okay.
I'll stand by it. I think him and Stafford just have that connection, and they just clicked.
Stafford don't have that connection with nobody else. I'll tell you that much.
I mean, he finally threw to Allen Robinson for more than 5 yards yesterday.
Allen Robinson finally did something. All right, we got to move on.
All
here.
right. Let's keep it in the NFC West. Cardinals versus Seahawks.
Yeah.
This was a shocker.
I'm
not
not too
as
shocked
much of
by
a
it.
shock.
I'm definitely not shocked by it, but I
The
don't know.
9 points.
My expectations for the Cardinals honestly are pretty low, to be honest with you.
Kyler came out and said that he hasn't been this frustrated since his rookie year.
Yeah. Well,
But hey, he's getting reinforcements this week. He's got to play a Thursday night game with DeAndre Hopkins
Yeah, but I
back.
think Marquise
versus the
Brown
Saints,
might be
right?
out. So that's
Yeah.
a shame.
yeah.
Oh wow.
We'll see what happens. Like I said, we've seen this Cardinals team last year with DeAndre Hopkins. They looked like the best team in the NFL. As soon as he was gone, there had to be some sort of correlation, in my opinion. They fell off. They did. They were disappointing after he got injured, and now he hasn't been here. They've been disappointing. He's coming back. Will he be the piece? Is he really the piece that could really?
A guy like
bring it?
that gives a team confidence. Just like TJ Watt. Look what the defense has been like. I feel like just having that guy on the field just gives
like
everybody
the team just
else
feels
like
flat,
that push and confidence and whatnot.
This might be the first, one of the first couple games that Geno Smith did not look too impressive to me.
I say Geno Smith. I tell you what.
I mean, he didn't throw a pick or
I'll tell you
anything,
what,
but no touchdowns. But
the Seahawks offense has been actually pretty great.
Yeah.
He was leading in passer rating going into this week.
And I can't believe that I'm saying that. Like, I knew they had Tyler Lockett and Metcalf and a really good run game, but I'm just like, the quarterback that's there, we've seen Geno Smith for how many years now just do nothing, like next to nothing, to be honest. He's a backup quarterback, but he's been playing really well, and the offense has been putting up points. It's pretty wild to see. I mean, he is literally... I'm wondering what would happen if their offense, seriously right now, what do you guys think? Would their offense be putting up as many points with Russell Wilson, with how he's been playing?
I mean, it's so hard to argue that.
Because, I mean, Russ has a connection already
Yeah,
with
he already
Metcalf
had the
and Lockett and the
connection.
team for all these years. Like, I'm not gonna say he wouldn't.
My issue, though, is, like, the Cardinals had every opportunity to win this game. Like, really, they did. They blew it.
Did they? I thought they looked pretty bad the whole time.
Well, Kyler Murray had 300 all-purpose yards.
Yeah,
for the
but
record.
like they just
I seen a game that
Because
was
here's
kind
the
of
thing.
dominated by the
If you
Saints
can
or
hold
Seahawks.
DK Metcalf to 2 catches and 34 yards, Tyler Lockett to 2 catches and 17 yards, and the only thing that goes right for the Seahawks is Kenneth Walker almost getting 100 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, but what
you
went
should
right
probably
for the
win the
Cardinals?
game.
What went right for the Cardinals, though?
besides
there wasn't
stats
much.
though, because like they won for it on fourth down a bunch, right? Just didn't
Oh,
get
they
it.
were not getting fourth. They could not convert on fourth down.
I'm very interested to see the whole Cliff Kingsbury story now go forward.
I mean,
again,
after talking to Rick, he's like, Cliff, he's actually convinced Cliff's going to be here for the rest of the year, no matter what.
If they don't make the playoffs,
but
he's gone.
Like,
I think
no
it's-
matter what.
I think that's it.
Which
Like,
is, I mean, like, I definitely
gonna-
understand, but I'm surprised.
Just
Like,
because
I
they gave
wouldn't
him
be
that
shocked if
extension and stuff, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I
why
know.
they did
We've
that.
seen that before, though.
Yeah.
We've seen that before. Once a team really starts losing, like if they lose a couple more in a row,
Yeah.
that's
If
going to
they-
get
if-
thrown out the window real fast,
if
man.
D-Hop comes back and they don't look any better, that's whenever it's like, oh, man.
Sure, yeah.
And again, having that superstar receiver obviously only helps the team. But I really think, again, if teams can get pressure on Kyler kind of freaks out. And he ends up just throwing stupid passes that end up in interceptions,
Here's
fumbles.
the issue real quick with the superstar wide receiver thing. They traded for what they thought was a superstar wide receiver, their first-round pick away, and it did not work. And not to say that Hollywood Brown's been terrible or anything.
He's
but
been, I think, good, honestly.
A big reason why he came there is because they knew DeAndre Hopkins wasn't going to be there. And they needed somebody to help the offense move.
And what's their record?
And what do they have? 2 or 3 wins? 2 wins, I think.
2-4.
Yeah, they're
that's
2-4.
Okay.
They're 2-4.
So
Yeah.
It hasn't worked in. I don't know. Like I said, I always question that trade. That was a really bad trade.
I agree.
Before we move on here real quick, though, I will say Woolen has looked like an absolute monster.
Yeah, we were talking about him
Like,
yesterday. 5th-round pick.
5th-round pick 153. But here's the funny thing. Remember where Richard Sherman was taken? 154.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And yesterday, Woolen tied the record for most consecutive games with a turnover,
Oh, wow. Really?
held by
Richard Sherman.
Richard Sherman.
Oh, wow. That's a cool stat.
Well, here's the thing, right? Like you never know until they're literally playing in the NFL how good the players are going to be.
But
we see how many late round picks turn out to be amazing players.
Can I interject here for a second? This is a 6'3" corner who ran a 4.240 and got picked in the 5th round.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Like, how does somebody like that? I understand.
I don't know. A lot
but,
of
like,
people just don't. They watch the film and they're like, I think he might, be more likely to get us more pass interference calls. So I don't want to go with him. Like, you never know what's going
it
through the
could be
coach's
something
mind.
like that, but.
You have no idea.
If it were like in that case, if it were up to me, I'd take that guy who's 6'3",
You're
even
right.
if he's getting pass interference, because he's just that much of an athlete. There's just no.
That's it. Yeah, I mean the combine helps a little bit, but I mean it's kind of similar to DK Metcalf. He got hyped up in the combine, but teams don't just care about just the combine. It's what they see on tape. It's what they're the little intangibles that they.
I'd
they
probably
see.
need. I don't think I saw where he went to college or anything like that either. So that could also factor into it. Like if
And the
he's
thing
just
is, too,
some-
I'm sure they could have watched film where, again, I know he's quick, but a receiver might have cut in a little bit quicker than he has, got a step on him, and teams were like, oh, man, he's slow with the with the cuts. He's slow with the jukes.
Well,
Like,
as of
so-
right now, he is not slow.
I know, you're right.
So,
You're right.
He's
Major
the-
dub. Major dub.
That's the fastest 40 time run by somebody over 6 foot.
Yeah.
Really?
I
So
Yeah,
he's the
that's cool.
fastest technically the fastest 6-foot plus NFL player of all time. So
And you need to be for that position.
I'll say the Seahawks are doing some things right, man. That trade away Russell Wilson, get those first-round picks. They're hitting in the draft.
there were so many people that said that trade was dumb.
Definitely not dumb. Really, people said that.
Well,
was
no,
dumb?
well,
I didn't-
no, like not necessarily. Like they said they didn't get enough back or something like that,
Okay.
which I disagreed with. I mean,
I thought it was more good for the Broncos, but it doesn't.
That's
look
what I
like
mean.
it.
That's
It
what I
doesn't
mean.
look
It-
like
that's
it.
what I mean.
I never
It-
thought it was really bad for the Seahawks, but
like people said Seahawks were losing the trade, not by a
Yeah.
lot, but you get what I mean. All right, now on to the two most exciting games of the night: Bills Chiefs.
this
game.
was actually
Yeah.
an exciting
Lived
game.
up to it.
It really did.
I enjoyed every bit of it. I mean, it was a good game. It started off slow.
Yeah.
My expectations, not that slow, but I knew like everybody's thinking high scoring games, super high powered offense, 1 million passing yards, touchdowns left and right. I'm like, you can't just expect that. Even as good as these offenses are, you can't just expect them to do
Yeah.
that every single time, especially now that they know each other a little bit more. It gets that much more difficult.
I don't think anybody was
100%.
expecting a scoreless first quarter, though.
Yes,
I don't
was
think
pretty-
that's what it
And
was.
I mean, it's not even like it was a bad turnover by the Bills. It was a bad turnover by the Chiefs. Back to back drives.
It was turnover on downs because they went for it on like 4th and 1.
Okay. So
And
after
then the Chiefs threw the pick. Yeah.
well, Josh Allen had that pitch to Isaiah McKenzie
that
backwards
play.
on that read
yeah,
option.
You're right. Which
And then Patrick Mahomes threw a really bad interception. So, and those are both drives where both offenses were moving
yeah.
pretty
these-
easily downfield.
With these two teams, however many times they play in the future, I expect a close game. I don't expect
That's
it to
what
be
I'm
a high
expecting.
scoring game, but it's always going to be close in my opinion.
This is that like NFL rivalry that I think every
It's like
NFL
Tom
fan
Brady
can get
versus Peyton
excited
Manning
about.
back then.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
that's what I
Exactly. That's a really
I
good way to
still
put
think
it.
it was an absolute crime that this wasn't a primetime game.
I agree.
It's because of
Like-
Jerry Jones. That's
You
he
know,
always
you're right.
he owns prime
You're
time,
right.
and that was a good game though. So I'm not gonna like complain about that one too much.
Oh no. But hey,
Disappointed in Mahomes. They had a minute left. I was like, lock it in. They're gonna go down the field.
and then
win
you
it.
and then
he
you
threw
looked and you're
a pick.
and we called it.
I know.
We're like, yep.
That was- it was a bad
a
pick,
It was a
too.
bad one. It was a
that
no
was
looker.
a bad.
Like he
that
just
was
goes.
a bad interception.
Here's the thing,
man.
though. He used his X factor early because he did it in the
Yeah.
first half to
Yeah,
get that,
yeah.
that field goal with 12 seconds left again.
Yeah.
Back-to-back games where they'd done that at the end of half.
It's crazy.
in order
It's
to put up
insane to me
points.
how they do that.
Yeah, it was not like surefire dominant victory from the Buffalo Bills, although I do think that they deserve to win that game.
I agree.
Either team deserves
But
to win.
that's
to me.
a game where like, yeah, you only won by 4 points, but then you think about it like this: you went into you went into Kansas City,
Yeah, no, it was a big win for them.
road
Huge.
game, and if you know that you can win in a close game like that with the Kansas City Chiefs of all teams, where it doesn't have to turn into this big 40 points each team, crazy kind of game, that's a huge confidence boost when it comes to the playoff time when you know you're going to play them again.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah,
I
mean
I
that's
hope they play each other in the playoffs.
if they
I
take
hope
one
they
thing
do.
out of it is that Josh Allen can put some trust in his defense and not be sitting there on the sideline saying, "Well, here we go again." At least you'll have some faith now that this
I
defense
told you
can
guys.
get it.
That's what I'm wondering because when there was a minute left, I wonder if he thought like, shoot,
I
might lose.
Hey,
I'm probably going to lose this
I
game.
told you guys on Sunday, Bills defense was going to have a huge impact on his game, and they did.
They did.
Heist did at the end of the game.
That was such a
Forced that
bad
pick at the end of the
interception.
quarter.
I was so disappointed in that. I'm not going to lie. That was bad.
Imagine having a no look like that. That brought a whole new term to the that brought a whole new
That's what I'm saying.
meaning to the word. You didn't see the defender there. Like, you know how you say, like, you throw a bad pick or whatever and you don't see him there. He literally didn't even look and the defender was sitting there.
Yeah.
That was a no look pass.
Yeah, it was a no look pass. Like, they zoomed in on it. He was like looking this way and he threw like over here.
Final game of the day, Eagles Cowboys. This is the game I was most excited about. First half, complete
This
domination.
game wasn't
Yeah.
ever really that close to me. Even though the Cowboys came back and made it like a one possession game at one point.
It
I
was.
think.
It was.
It was.
But
yeah.
it never felt to me like that
Was it
close.
one?
of
Yeah,
a
I think it
game.
was. It was one possession.
It was
then
one
the Eagles
possession
scored
late.
again,
Yeah.
and then they decided to go for a 2-point conversion, which they didn't get, which is pretty questionable because there was a penalty and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, I don't really know. The Eagles really were buckling down on running the football. Is what
Yeah.
I noticed.
They were good at it.
They wanted to hold.
Their thing that I realized they're very good at it. They actually, I think to me, they're almost better than the Ravens at the read option.
At the
They are-
deceptiveness of it, because I think I think you don't really trust Lamar throwing the ball as much as you'd trust.
I don't think people have Jalen Hurts figured out yet. I think they have Lamar Jackson figured out.
Yeah, they
the
do.
Past few years.
And I think the play calling for the Ravens isn't exactly the best either.
Yeah.
And again, this is a point now where the Cowboys are down early. Now they got to throw, and Cooper Rush is at the helm.
He stunk.
And
he stunk.
And now it's like, this is kind of what I was talking about. If Dak Prescott was there, even if you might not like him, he gives the team a better chance to win the ball. You could throw the ball downfield better.
I agree, gives them a better chance, but I still think they lose that
I
game.
told you.
I'm not saying that they're going to win that game if they have Dak Prescott. Do not get me wrong, but they're in better hands if they have Dak Prescott.
They had CeeDee Lamb, like that wide open pass down the field, and Cooper, I don't know what he did, but he threw a pick. It was such a
I don't know if he got hit there. Or did he get hit on that
He
play?
didn't
right
get hit.
after. There was a guy coming at him. So he's allowed to go. He got hit. But, man,
I think it might have been like a
so
mixed
bad.
up route or something from CD, I think.
So finally, I could say it a little bit to slow down on Cooper Rush.
Yeah.
A little bit there.
You know, I've been saying it for weeks, but, you know.
But I mean, there was a point. I mean, at least in the first quarter, the Cowboys' run defense was getting gashed, and they did step it up. They did end up stepping it up and making it a game. But
but just like
the Eagles, they did it and they look good.
They're good.
And
Who do the
Eagles
Cowboys
fastest
play
in the
next
game.
week?
Their DBs look good.
They play
Dak's coming back next
supposed to be
week.
back.
the
Yeah.
Lions. All right, I mean, if there was ever a
Should be
game
a win.
for Dak Prescott to come back and just put up 400 yards on a team, there you go. Like,
I'm not expecting that.
I mean, neither am I, but let's.
We'll see what happens. Cowboys are still a good team in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not
I
for
think
defense
they're
stays
actually-
healthy.
they're
That's
better
what-
with Dak Prescott. Let's just
I
say it
actually
now.
think they might still be a top 5 team for me. I don't know how you guys feel.
I wouldn't
I
put them
look
that
at
low.
it.
I mean,
I don't know.
I have to look at it too.
here's the thing: they're probably still out of my top 5, but if they are, they're at like 6. I think.
Well, for me, with the 49ers losing,
Oh yeah,
that puts and the Cowboys. I mean,
I just put the Falcons in the top 5 then.
I'll think about it.
You know what? Yeah, Cowboys are probably still top 5 for me just because of the.
I don't know.
teams
We'll
they
see. I
lost
don't
to.
want to just like. I think again. I've said 100 times. They get better when Dak Prescott comes back.
Yeah, I mean they
You're
stayed
right.
afloat
I mean,
at 4 and
you're
2.
right.
They stayed afloat at 4 and 2. I can't put that.
The
against
thing
them,
was,
but
is again, I mean, their defense was doing it by themselves, but it was pretty much their defense doing it.
it was their defense and their running game. Like that's all it was. That's all it was.
But still,
I'll say, and like I said before,
Dak's
that's
not the guy.
The biggest reason
agree.
on why I picked the Eagles is because the Eagles also have a good defense. Is it as good as the
you're right.
Cowboys? I would say no, it's not. But with
It's close. They're
an
second. I think they have the
all-around
best
team.
secondary in the
They
football.
do. They do.
Their secondary is
They do.
crazy.
Yeah, their secondary is really good. Okay, we got a game tonight: Chargers, Broncos. It's actually going to decide our slap for next, or no, our forfeits, not a
No,
slap.
TJ lost.
Yeah, TJ.
Oh,
lost.
TJ lost.
TJ got 2 right.
TJ lost
Oh,
bad.
never mind. It will not decide the
TJ
forfeit.
lost bad.
Frank and I will be gaining some ground a little bit, I guess, because of that.
'cause
At least on
TJ
TJ.
loses 3 on us. So
Yeah, it was a tough week for picks, man. It definitely was a tough week. But let us know who you guys got tonight. Chargers, Broncos, and we will see you guys tomorrow with another video in the Warren. Peace.